Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Star Trek Tholian Web build that I've been working on. I got a lot of things to kind of talk about that I've accomplished so far, so please bear with me. First of all, let's go back to the saucer part of it, as you can see in front of you. What I did for this particular time around is I shortened up the wires coming from the top part of the primary saucer, and I soldered in two single wires for positive and negative, and then applied the heat shrink on it so that once we feed it through the dorsal part of the starship, we'll only have to deal with two wires now. So I basically just cleaned it up a little bit to make it look a little bit neater. So that has now been done and ready to go. And I did basically test it again, because anytime I resolder something as far as lighting is concerned, I want to make sure that the lights inside are still working. So that is good to go. The next thing I want to kind of talk about is the secondary half of the hull. I went ahead and glued the two halves together and lined them up to get pretty even there. And once that was done, I went ahead and cut a couple of glow-in-the-dark sprues to reinforce the underside of the seam on either side where the pilings are going to go, just to kind of reinforce it a little bit to make it a little bit stronger. So that was done. And then the bottom second half of the hull, I went ahead and glued in the hangar deck. And I also cut a couple more sprues and glued on either side of the front part of the secondary hull to reinforce it, so that when I do come time to glue the two halves together, I'll have a stronger bond on the sides, since this stuff is pretty thin for the molding. So I just want to make sure I got that taken care of. So that is done. And then I kind of basically started working on the nacelles. And while we're here, let's go ahead and take a look at what the inner mechanisms that I'm using to obtain the light going through the nacelles itself. If you recall, before I had a foam template that I was using for a sample. I decided to stick with the foam template itself, but I went ahead and cut two pieces of styrene, plastic styrene, and actually glued it with some of the CA glue. This is actually 100% foam safe type of Super Gold Plus. And so I cut two sections of the styrene and applied it on either side of the foam board, just to make it a little bit stronger. And once that was done, I went ahead and cut a piece of LED tape to length to actually wrap around the entire width of the foam board. This is about 8.5 inches long in relationship to the nacelles themselves. If you can see here, we actually have it overlapped when we're bending the LED tape around. That's going to be for the back end where the caps go. And we also have it here overextending here for the bucerts. And what I actually did was try to line up at least one LED to face straight back for the caps. And for the front, try to get as close as I can. We can move this a little bit so that I got one LED for the bucerts to shine straight through. I did go ahead and CA glue the backing of the LED to the styrene, so that's good and solid, shouldn't get loose. I went ahead and soldered some magnet wire for the positive and negative side there. And of course I also measured out from this point here back 2 inches, because that's where the piling starts, so I can feed it down through the pilings and into the secondary hull. So while we're here, let's go ahead and show you what it actually looks like with it all lit up here. So we'll go ahead and put in our ground wire and our positive wire on the breadboard, and see what we got here. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and turn the light off here so you get a little bit better look at it. So there you go. That's what it's going to look like when I slide her into the nacelle part of it. So there you go. Nice steady stream. In fact, I got one of them kind of mocked up here, taped up right now, so let's see if I got enough wire here to slide her on through and kind of give you an idea of what it's going to look like. I'll take it back about this far, just kind of get an idea, because the wires are going to be in the way. I'm going to go ahead and take this all apart to feed the wires, but there's your look at what it's going to look like all lit up for the nacelles. So I think it looks pretty good. I'll just kind of turn around. There you go. So it looks like it's got pretty good even glow to it. So I'm pleased with it. We'll go ahead and turn off the power here. We'll slide her back out. And so, like I said, you can see what I'm doing with the nacelles. So that stuff is going along good. And next up, I'll go ahead and turn the light back on here so we can see. Next up is the deflector dish and the front hub of the secondary hole. I went ahead and CA glued the deflector dish in place, and I also went ahead and installed four segments for the LED light, and I wrapped it around on the inside of the front end cap there. And of course, once again, I soldered the magnet wire for positive and negative on there. And then I CA'd glue some spots in there just to kind of hold it in place. So once again, we'll give this one a shot so you can see what it's going to kind of look like. And once again, we'll put the ground wire in and go with the positive. Hopefully I can keep that in the breadboard. But and then we'll turn off the light. So, like I said, there you go. I'll kind of hold it in place right there. That's what it's going to look like. And I think it came out real nice. Nice even. Oops. Yeah. Popped out of the breadboard. Let me take it one more time here. See if I can get a better contact for you. Okay, there we go. Whoop. Yeah. You get the idea. Okay. So there you go. I think it's going to come out real nice once we assemble everything up, and I think it's going to look good. So, like I said, it's such a small area. Like I said, the light's basically bouncing back and forth inside there, and it puts out a nice glow to it. So there you go. So that is done. Other than that, I think that's about it for right now. Like I said, there'll be more to come. The next thing I'll probably end up doing is actually running a strip of some LED tape, probably from the back end of the hanger deck up to the brass tubing, and just kind of free float it in there so that you get a nice even glow without too many seam lines or dark spots for that. So that's going to be my next step on that one there. But other than that, it's moving along quite well. I'm really enjoying this build. I'm learning a lot as I go along as far as lighting up this LED stuff, and so like I said, stay tuned, and we'll continue with the next episode. So with that being said, I hope everybody has a good holiday, and Merry Christmas to everyone, and we'll probably see you at the end of the week. Until then, be safe, and we'll catch you later. Bye.